This is Lori. May I help you?
Yes. Do I need to report each time my abuser hacks my device? That way there's a paper trail of him hacking it?
It's up to you, ma'am.
Well, I'm asking law enforcement the best way because I've been told that there's not enough evidence. So I'm getting information on the police department because I've been kind of forced to do my own investigation work in law enforcement.
Uh-huh.
And
Mm-hmm.
I'm asking the police, how do we trap this is the best terminology. How do we catch my abuser hacking my device? I'm asking for feedback from the police department.
Well, I'm just a dispatcher. I'm not a policeman. I can have one call you.
Yeah, because he's hacking it, and I don't know how do you need me to report it each time because I don't want to get punished for reporting crimes like I've been punished. So it is a crime to hack someone's device. So they're saying
What?
that they
Where
don't
do
have
you
enough
live at,
evidence.
ma'am? To call you on the phone.
They can call me. I don't want Officer Holt calling me. He has integrity issues. He's covering for target scamming to keep me from making purchases. It's been happening years, and that threatens my safety for places to cut off my food supply and malice.
Okay. What is your name?
I just want to make sure I
Okay.
understand. I have a question. So dispatch isn't prepped on what crimes are? So
I'm
all you
sorry.
do is just dispatch isn't prepped on what crimes are and they immediately railroad back to police? So you're not equipped to answer any questions. All you do is railroad conversations to police?
Right.
Okay, I didn't know because I thought they would equip you with knowing, the laws and not all the
No, ma'am.
laws, but like knowing if something was reportable or giving feedback on circumstances that could be reported or processes or like information on fleeing abuse and different things of that sort. I thought that you guys were supposed to be prepped on that, but I
No,
don't.
ma'am.
Okay, well, thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye. It says right here, dispatchers, they also maintain communication with officers on the field, provide updates, and coordinating resources. Dispatchers are the first point of contact, gathering information, using radios, computer systems. I thought that they were supposed to tell you what was going on with the police, but they stopped doing it when I got in my crisis. In some kind of way, it's been several weeks, and I never spoke with the police on some circumstances. In the movies I saw dispatchers saying, "Oh, we'll wait. You need to do this. We're waiting on the police. Don't hang up the phone. I want to be able to hear you," and giving communication, not leaving someone in a crisis repeatedly over and over. Even movies know that dispatchers don't hang up and leave you being violated in crimes. They have in the movies, they say, hold on while we talk to an officer. Meanwhile, I need you to do this to protect yourself. Do this, do this, do this. The dispatchers will not, since I'm targeted, have to go and hang up while you're being threatened. Let's see how this goes. And it says right here online, dispatchers often provide support to callers, keeping them calm and providing guidance until help arrives. They were hanging up while I was being threatened. Dispatchers may also be involved in tasks such as checking for warrants. A lot of places would not do that for me. They said that I had to send me on wild goose chases, coordinating with other agencies and providing administrative support. I don't think I've seen that. Very rarely when I did. This came up and it's saying that right here that the shelter, if you're a patient and you're reporting abuse, like I repeatedly report, that they're supposed to connect you, not demand that you go find your own resource on your own. Connect them directly with the domestic abuse or sexual violence shelter. And I'm not quite certain on why I get bullied and mistreated as at multiple different hospitals. Let's see what's going on right here. Hello? Hello?
Hello? Hello? Hi, this is Sergeant Ortiz, Victoria Police Department. Is this Miss Clark?
Yes. Let me get your
What can I
information.
help you today, Miss Clark?
Yes, I have some questions. What's your badge number?
7862.
Okay, is this your employee ID or your badge number?
It works for both with our department.
Yeah, but I wanted to know if it was employee ID or badge number.
It's both. It's my employee ID and my badge number.
Okay, so I was told that the employee ID and the badge numbers are similar, but they're different. It changed?
No, ma'am, that's how it's always been. As far as I've been here, about almost 8 years.
No, because when I asked for the badge number before, it was the badge number and it wasn't the badge number and employee ID at the same time. The employee ID was a number, and then the badge number was different. And it's ever since that Holt got caught in a crime, now the whole policy has changed to cover for his crime. and I've been experiencing this years. So now that he has lied, now the whole policy has changed. Now you can't differentiate a badge number from an employee ID number. It's the same. But I've experienced
I
this
feel.
years.
If you're wanting to know who I am, I'm Sergeant John Ortiz, and I work with the Victoria Police Department. And my badge number is 7862. It's also my employee ID number. I don't know who told you otherwise, but that's just what it is, ma'am.
Well, some kind of way the employee ID number for Holt was 8 something, and then some kind of way the badge number was 1403, so they were different. Now they have became the same number, but it's still slander because he gave me 2 different numbers.
Okay, that other number you gave out is a radio number. That's just his identification on the radio.
Okay, well then he lied because he told me it was his badge number.
No, his badge number would have been the 80 whatever number he gave you.
Well then, what is 1403 that I was given multiple different times?
That's his radio number. That's really only important between us when officers when we talk to each other on the radio. That's how we identify each other quickly. That's
so why would they lie to me and tell me that his radio number was his badge number?
I think that's just semantics, ma'am. Did you need
I don't think it's
today?
Semantics like we're lining the door with oil and it being semantics on how it's coming off. But nonetheless, so how do you spell your last name?
Ortiz.
Okay, so you're a sergeant. Good. So I have this abuser and I'd like to know details on how to protect myself. And it says online that you're supposed to give me strategies to protect myself and how we can catch this guy in violating me. So he keeps hacking my device, and I reported it multiple different times, and it just doesn't appear to be enough evidence. So what can I do? Because repeatedly my devices go off on a whim, and one's currently off now. 2 of them went off at the same time, and immediately when I get my devices, then they'll correct. Do you think that that's a sign that I'm being illegally monitored? Why would they correct repeatedly over and over when I'm recording? And then when
I start, they go off, what do you mean by
the data's actually cut off? My phone service has been cut off completely. In fact, AT&T said they had excuses and could never get it cut back on, even though I paid the bill 2 times in 1 month. I have it recorded. So if AT&T did not know how to get me the service, I certainly couldn't get it on my own. But some kind of way they were angry with me, and I got criminal trespasses and my arrest threatened. So I had to go to another provider and got defrauded out of those funds because AT&T did not know how to give me my services. So if AT&T don't know how to correct issues my abuser caused, that's serious. That's cutting off my communication. I read that was a terroristic threat and cutting off my transit. Yeah, I reported it 400 plus times, but I just simply have fell through the cracks, and I'm trying to figure out what you guys need. I developed a YouTube channel so you guys could see it, but it's so many glitches on the channel. I don't know who all can view what I'm reporting on the YouTube channel.
Were you ever given a case number or anything?
No, they keep saying that they can't find them, or they don't see my abuser repeatedly over and over. In some case, pushing and shoving me and assaulting me for reporting them. I don't know what it's about. He says that the police are bought off and paid in full, and I always protect them, and I'm powerless. But I don't know why 400 and some times that you guys haven't seen it and it disappears, and why I get pushed, shoved, violated, and mistreated for reporting them. And to the fact, police that pushed me, security, multiple different people. And then even in the environment that I'm in, whenever I ask for resources in a group chat of 16 people, I was heckled in the group chat and ignored multiple different times. And then 2 strange people that were heckling me threatened to leave me at locations. And now everyone is behaving odd, that my abuser's mad, and I'm being ostracized, but it's been a pattern for years. He said they were going to do it in emails. But the thing of it is, each time my device cuts off, do I need to contact you guys and let you know so you can catch them doing it?
I mean, I don't know how we would do that if you're saying this is through AT&T?
No, I mean, if it's a crime to hack a device, how would you catch them if you're denying law enforcement?
Well, if your device is being hacked, I need you to tell me exactly how it's being hacked or what exactly it is you're experiencing other than the line being cut. We'd have to see the phone and be shown basically what's happening to determine if it's your actual phone being hacked, if it's your email being hacked,
all of it.
Virus on your phone.
All of it. So Casilius already did a report, and he should have had body cam footage with a witness. Not only is my devices being hacked, but my associates' phones are being hacked. Because a lot of times I cut my phone off, and I think that that's evidence that my abuser wants to hear what's going on in my, in the conversations, even for petty things. So
What
multiple
officer did you say took that report?
Casilius and J.W. Poe, I informed it to, and multiple different other officers. I've never had a call from an investigator in years, almost a decade, reporting my devices being hacked. And then I try to report it to my provider. It's not a possibility because the police have gave me criminal trespasses for trying to report it. That's not a possibility. And then if that's not happening, I had a provider slander me and lie and say I was bullying her for trying to get phone service. And I don't know what to do because she was trying to set me up. That puts my safety at risk. Then another location here in Victoria, I was heckled and cursed out for trying to get phone service. It also happened in Fort Worth. I was heckled by a customer. I think that they're gang stalkers. Why would someone curse me out for trying to get phone services and then slander me? Multiple different locations. So it used to be the police would come, but now bullies are stationed in these environments to keep me from getting the services that I'm paying for. And I reported it to police at multiple different locations, and I recorded it that people bully me and heckle me and have cursed me out and insulted me for trying to use phone service that I'm paying for.
So just so I can be clear on what you're saying, you feel like someone has hacked your phone, and no matter where you go, everyone seems to be a part of assisting you not having your phone secure?
I would say that would be accurate. I just question why the police department didn't want me reporting the things going on with my phone, and I question why you guys haven't investigated all these times, even though it was eyewitness testimonies, and why he chose to run our information and scare her off, and also cover for someone threatening to take my life and saying they found my safe location. Why is it? I'm asking what you need.
Who threatened to take your life?
Jason Gardner.
Jason Gardner? Where does he live? Is he in Victoria?
He's in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
How do you know Jason?
It was an online situation. I met him a couple times in person. He said he was committing voyeurism crimes. He was telling me what I was doing at home in multiple different environments.
But he was over there in Louisiana?
Yes. I assume. I don't know. I saw him actually stalking me one day in person. And I sped up because I couldn't believe it. And it was a 35. I was doing 35. He started doing 50. I started doing 50. He started doing 70. And I didn't want to endanger my safety, but he sped off. I couldn't believe that someone I was talking to online that I had no clue. He didn't want to see me in person. He just wanted to monitor. He didn't really want interaction. That wasn't his thing. He wanted to illegally monitor me. That was his thing.
And this is the same person you believe is hacking your phone?
Right. And I'm asking you guys what you need because 400 and something times you haven't had enough evidence to actually catch him in the act. Do I need to call each time he's hacking it to build up a paper trail, or what strategies do you think I need to take to be able to stop him? Because I saw that the cutting off someone's communication is considered a terroristic threat and it's a crime.
It can be, depending on certain circumstances, but I think what you would probably need to do is during a regular Monday through Friday hours, you would probably want to go down to the police department and speak with our digital forensics detective. He has the kind of knowledge.
I don't have that capability to go down in person. I just don't understand why you guys are sending me on wild goose chases to get law enforcement.
I'm just saying, if you have a question about your phone being hacked, he would be the most educated person to see, and he would need to see you in person and see your phone to make that judgment.
Okay, so I'm expressing to you as a sergeant, you don't know if I need to repeatedly report to you each time my phone is broken into and I can't use it? You need me to speak with forensics before you know if I need to do that?
Yeah, I mean, you can call.
I'm getting a prank call now. I don't want to answer it. I call them back. I get these prank calls all the time. Can I report that to you today? That when I'm on calls that no one should hear, I get prank calls or interruptions all the time? Like someone's illegally monitoring me? I like to report that today.
Like right now, let's just use right now, for example. You're saying if we and you are having this phone call conversation, prank calls are coming through while we would be having this conversation?
Yeah, it just happened. It's been happening years. I like to report that today.
What are they saying during the prank calls?
They just try to interrupt conversations I have with people. So I would click over repeatedly over and over, and then when I clicked over, the other party would have hung up. It's like they're deliberately trying to cover for crimes, and I have a YouTube channel, and you can see a lot of these videos where someone's calling and interrupt. I've had someone call police out. slander something to the police, and police have knocked on my door when I was having in the middle of calls. When a conversation that I was having with a person at Midcoast, we had conversations about a mail. Each time that topic came up, I was locked out of my phone. The Android symbol would be laying down, and I could not use my phone at all. It also happened at Austin Street Shelter. I stated that this man, he had a child. I wanted people to see who I believe was stalking me. I noticed that he had a child. And then when I noticed he had a child, I told everyone, well, he needs to be worried about being a father and stop terrorizing me. Within minutes, not even 10 minutes, my phone started vibrating and I couldn't use it, period. In fact, I could never use it again. I went to AT&T on Eckerd and I tried to report to them that I couldn't use my phone. The police was guarding AT&T and demanded that I left in Dallas. So I went to multiple different other locations, and the police also, the locations wouldn't help if the police weren't guarding it. And they said that they called the police, blatantly lied on me, and said they called the police on me for trying to get my phone service. So I think it's pretty serious. I don't know why I would be slandered for trying to get phone services that I'm paying for.
Well, I mean, I can definitely document what you're telling me today.
I'm just not quite certain on why 400 or 500 times it's just repeatedly documented, even though it's crimes. It appears that the crimes are on you guys' part. Because why is it impossible to get law enforcement if I have probably close to 400 and some reports now that aren't being investigated, and cutting off my communication is a crime? Why would you guys repeatedly cover for that and put my safety at risk?
I'm not covering for anything. In fact, I'm trying to help you, but you're saying that you can't come to us in person.
So, but I'm just not quite certain on why I have to go shoot through hoops to get law enforcement. What's your inability to abide by the law and give it to me and investigate if this guy's really hacking my device and come to me and give me the law enforcement like you're supposed to?
Just a second. Like, if every person who called me and wanted to report a felony and I just took it as their word and I never seen them in person, can you imagine what kind of...
I did report to Casilius in person, and nothing was done then, and nothing was done the multiple other times when I was being removed and given criminal trespasses. So I'm not quite sure how to combat the fact that you guys are covering for someone hacking my phone, which puts my safety at risk, and then blaming me for it.
I think you're giving our officers a little too much credit. I don't think anyone...
I'm not quite certain on why I reported to Casilius and in his face. I'm not sure why I reported to Casilius in his face and my another party that our device was hacked, and he chose to tell Midcoast staff not to help me and be psychologically abusive in some kind of way. They had no problem with doing it. Then in the same environment, another phone was stolen from me, and they won't review the camera footage and then blame me for their mistreatment. I told them I didn't want to get murdered, and they had to go. That's how the police told them to treat me. Then in addition to that, since the police wouldn't help me and I could barely use my device I was paying for, I went to Metro PCS in Victoria. They played games and let someone threaten me and then blame me for it. I couldn't receive text. The data would cut off on a whim, and you're blaming me repeatedly over and over and saying that I have to see you guys in person. I did, and you did nothing. And then I went to Metro like you recommended, and my provider multiple different other times. When the police weren't coming, they were trying to set me up, and my arrest was threatening criminal trespasses. Your way isn't working. So you guys have stated 400 and something times that you don't have enough evidence, even assaulting me and arresting me, trying to give you evidence. I'm not quite certain on how to combat that. It appears that you guys are covering for this man, like he said, and you are allowing him to violate me, and you're also accomplices to the abuse, and then blaming me for your crimes. That's no one should have to endure the police department terrorizing someone and enlisting everyone else to do it in their environment. I also think that you guys are taking bribes and going behind the scenes in the radar and telling everyone to not help me, and we have evidence of that. Is this happened on camera footage at Midcoast? Now, I'm not quite certain on why Midcoast, a domestic violence organization, wanted people to color and do artwork and crafts at a whole support group.
Ms. Clark, it sounds to me like you're experiencing some kind of paranoia. I don't think your phone's being hacked.
making a false report, Sergeant Ortiz, is a crime, and I need to report you to a higher authority or someone over you. Because slandering me to condoning criminal activity by your officers is not just something that's minute. It's criminal, and you just committed a crime to cover for officer misconduct. That's criminal, and I need to be able to report that you repeat.
You can contact Lieutenant Poe. He is in charge of our internal affairs investigations, and you can report me to Lieutenant Poe. I have do not feel I've committed a crime today.
It doesn't matter if you feel like it. If you're making a false report on me to conceal misconduct by officers, you don't have to feel it. It's still a crime. The bottom line of it is I'm making a report. The bottom line is I'm trying to make a report repeatedly over and over that I can't use my device, and you don't have no right to slander me and say that I'm mentally ill to cover for my abuser as well as my device being hacked. The bottom line, regardless of whether you're saying you're trying to use mental illness as an alibi, you're trying to use mental illness as an alibi to not give me a report number of my abuser hacking my device. That's criminal. And what is that, an accessory? Because you're covering up for his crime and blaming me for it, that's indeed another crime. You guys repeatedly over and over. Hold on, let me tell you the law since you're pretending like you don't know it. I'm reporting my devices being hacked. The bottom line is, did you give me a report number for it? Are you trying to use an alibi of not being mentally ill to cover for him hacking my device?
Your report, but I need to meet you in person. I'm not going to take it over the phone.
Because so you can set me up?
Set you up for what, ma'am? I have no reason to set you up for anything.
They set me up at Target. You do have a reason. My abuser says you're doing it for profit. So since you don't know,
I don't know. I don't know what happened at Target. I don't know.
If you're a sergeant, I'm not quite certain on why you won't take it. What's the point of a sergeant sergeants calling and corporals that repeatedly cover for crimes?
I'm calling because we're shorthanded, and I'm taking calls like this today to help my officers do the things they got to do, and I was trying to help you, but you don't want to meet us in person.
Because you're trying to set me up already. So, accessory, since you said you don't understand, aids, abets, or encourages the commission of crime, but is not present when the crime is committed. This may be held liable to the person helps the offender after the crime has been committed, typically to help them avoid arrest, trial, conviction, or punishment. Harboring the offender, providing them with transportation, or helping them conceal evidence like you're doing. That's criminal, sir. So if I'm reporting you a crime and you're trying to slander me with mental illness, that's multiple different crimes that you're committing right now. And then blaming me for it and trying to frame me with mental illness is an additional crime. So I'm not quite certain on why you want to risk your livelihood and criminal charges to keep me from reporting my devices being hacked like Casilius did and multiple different other officers. So all I want is the right that you're supposed to give me to not get charges for yourself is to report my device being hacked. Are you going to rob me of that right for profit?
No, ma'am. I told you I would document this.
I would like documenting repeatedly over and over and denying the investigation really isn't getting anywhere. And you have already addressed that that's criminal for you to do that and the rest of the officers.
I don't control what happens immediately after I take a report from anyone out here on the streets other than that it gets approved.
Well, if you're a sergeant, here's the problem. If you're a sergeant and if you don't report this crime, it's criminal. So by you not controlling it, it's a crime. And I don't appreciate the pathological lies. By you not controlling and being able to get law enforcement, that is criminal for you to do that. And you're saying that you can't control it. I want to know why so many parties are risking their freedom and then blatantly pathologically lying on the legal system to conceal crimes. So can you express to me why you're lying and saying that you can't control as a sergeant someone investigating repeated reports of criminal activity? And then think that the FBI will never see that you're racking up charges for yourself?
I'm a sergeant on patrol. So I have certain duties that I do on patrol.
Okay, they've said they've calmed that same thing.
To you, Ms. Clark, but you won't let me talk.
I just don't understand why for years it's been impossible to find someone that can really help. They've been on patrol, people have been out on lunch breaks, and then a lot of times it's just pathological lies. And they're scamming to keep me from law enforcement and doing it, strategizing to not get charges. So nonetheless, what's the report number you're scamming that you can't investigate as a sergeant, even though it's criminal?
Ms. Clark, I can give you the event ID number if that's what you'd like.
Yeah, you haven't got charges. That's a crime for you to give me an event ID number. And they've done it 400 and something other times. What's the number?
It's 2505 5837.
Okay, so are you willing to tell me what I need to do what do I need to do to help you guys get your charges? So I won't have to go through this any longer before you will go ahead and scam a false arrest like my abuser says he's going to pay you to do?
If you have your phone being hacked, the only person who's going to have the knowledge and experience to really determine that
No,
is
that's
going to
not what
be.
I asked. I asked, what do I need to do to protect myself
You
from the
asked
police
what you
department?
need to do to help this get investigated, and I'm trying to tell you, but you
No,
just
that's
keep
not what
interrupting me.
I'm asking. What I need to do for not my device being hacked to protect myself from the police department, because he's saying that he's going to pay you guys to set up another false arrest, and you're already
That doesn't.
strategizing and scheming to do that. So I want to know how to protect myself from crooked
Ms. Buck,
police.
I don't know. You know what? I
Because
don't
you
know what to
already
tell you
slandered me and
because
tried to
I
frame me with mental
don't
illness to
know
take
what
my
you're
freedom,
talking
and then
about.
telling me that you want to come meet in person as a scam, as a strategy to take my freedom. So I'm questioning from a sergeant, what do I need to do to protect myself from crooked police that are strategizing avenues to take my freedom? You just blatantly lied on me, made a false report, which
No,
is a crime,
Ms.
and
Buck,
you're an
I think
accessory for
the answer
covering for
you're
my
wanting
abuse
me
as
to give you
crime,
is
and
doesn't
you're blaming me
exist. I
for
think
it.
you want me to admit to crooked stuff at the police department, but it's just
I
not
just wanted to
happening.
know, you're deflecting on the fact that I'm asking, how do I protect myself against people like you that blame me for trying to set me up? I've already
Ms.
been
Buck,
informed that you were going to take my
Buck,
freedom
I
for
think you need
profit,
to
and
speak
what
with
do I need to do? You already
a
showed up at
representative
Target in
of
corruption, two police coming from nowhere. Immediately when I left Target, the representative y'all said he didn't call him, so you're a threat to my safety. So the question of it is, as a sergeant, what do I do to protect myself against crooked police like you? Because he's threatening another false arrest, and you're already strategizing an avenue to take my freedom. So what do
Ms.
I
Clark.
do?
You asked me what you wanted to do about your phone. I gave you the
No,
option
I'm that you guys
to
have played
perceive it
games,
as
mind
being
games, and
plotted to attack you.
tried to play games with words to
I
conceal crimes and out of abuse. That's
don't know
not
what
what I'm
else to tell
stating.
you, and
I'm
I think
asking
this
you, what do I
conversation
need to
is
do to
pretty much
protect
at
myself against crooked police?
at a
And everywhere I'm calling,
so unless
strategizing
you have
words to
a
conceal
life-threatening
crimes.
emergency in this moment and you wish for police to respond to you in person, I think this conversation has come to an end.
Okay, so the conversation has come to an end. Isn't that a crime? If I'm in a crisis situation that threatens my safety and you're ending the
You're,
call, I thought that was
you're
criminal.
in a mental
I thought to
crisis right
repeatedly
now,
do
Mrs.
that was a
Clark.
crime.
I have other calls I have to go
I
to. If you
know
don't,
it was mid coast and other parties, but here the fact still remains, you hanging up in a crisis is criminal. You're interrupting my report, that's a crime.
no, ma'am. I gave you the event number. I've got
But
it
I'm
documented. If
asking
you have
because
any
my
other
safety's
complaints,
at
you can
risk,
contact me
I'm
at that
not being
phone. But
heard, my safety's at risk, and
you have
by
a good
you
day, Mrs.
hanging
Clark.
up in the middle of me reporting that to you is criminal. He hung up.